So, where are we at? Am I actually going to do a recording which I upload? Remains to be seen. 3rd of June. 3rd of June is when I handed my notice in, or my last day. But, I don't know. I finished a few days before that, actually, because the Queen's Jubilee bank holiday or some such. So, yeah. I mean, it should be good, you know. Well, I know it will be good. Still feel nervous, about the future, but that's just because it's grasping the nettle. It's saying, no, I don't want to work for other people. I want to be my own boss, which is anyone's right at the end of the day. Do apologise. Replacing denim for tracky bees for optimal comfort this Friday evening. And I need it, to be fair. This is the 5th day in a row that I've gone cycling, and I hadn't been cycling regularly since early winter, very early winter probably, or late autumn. 5 days on the trot, and past 2 days doing a longer 8-mile route uphill. It's Haddenham, where I live, is on a hill, and the fens are pretty much flat as far as the eye can see, because it all used to be marshland and below sea level until it was drained in the 1700s, I think. Anyways, yeah, hill climbs, basically my knees are feeling it and my back, and I brought my photography kit, so I had the rucksack, and it's an oversized rucksack, and it's pretty unforgiving. I noticed it's been a couple of minutes leaving the house. My back is feeling a bit sore. But it is what it is, it's muscle soreness. It's not like I've pulled something, because I saw that happen to my sister-in-law. I think it happened to her the day before when she was around for Christmas Day with my brother and their kids. And yeah, I've never seen someone who's like completely thrown their back out, slip disc or whatever it was. It looks pretty humbling. I mean, I've had back pains before, neck pains like where you do your neck and you just can't move it. That, I think other than a tooth ulcer, that's probably the worst. Oh, wait, no, migraines. Had migraines for a couple of years towards the end of my 6-7 years of alcohol, and yeah, they were, I'm just glad I found triptans. Triptan. You can buy them online through pharmacies, and if you take it once, you see the aura before you start getting the nausea and that just thunderclap of a headache. Triptans can pretty much nullify most, if not all, of the migraine. It's uncanny, but it's a potent medication. I mean, for some people it wipes them out or they get side effects, but a few side effects versus I thought I was having a stroke the first time it happened. Firstly, I just got classic every time. I just started getting the aura right in the middle of my vision, and it was always happening in the office. I was like, I can't read these letters. It's like if you look at a bright light at night and you just get that, that trail in your vision. It's like that, and it just starts to grow. And the first time I was like, oh my God, I can't see what's going on. Like, I haven't been looking at bright lights or anything, I started to panic. I rang the GP, and they told me, actually, that if I got a headache, I had to go to hospital. And that just sounded bizarre to me. I'm surprised I managed to get through, to be honest. It was like late afternoon, not long before they had to shut, and that GP, like every other, seems to be overbooked and understaffed. And it's the same with all the companies I've worked for. It's just like, we must acquire more customers, or this, that and the other, but keep the staff numbers and the costs down. So I get it, you're trying to make as much money as possible, but it's hard to feel truly valued in places like that. And I mean, this one I'm leaving, it is the most stressful I've been in, because it kind of fused elements of all my other jobs, but just into one role, and then the work just increased from there quite a lot. It's exhausting, but I still do want to do a good job, Last month I'm going to be training in the office in May. I don't think it'll be full weeks, but it'll be good to be, around the familiar faces, etc. for the last few weeks. Like I say, I am scared to go at it on my own, but I know it's what I'm here for. It might sound all new age or spooky, but I just know. I know how I feel when I create. I know how I feel when other people see my work, and that's just going to help my confidence grow. Traveling all over the place, doing art and craft fairs, exhibitions, entering competitions, meeting people, networking. I'm going to have so many. It's just going to be an adventure. It is. I mean, I'm sure anyone who starts up a business, it is an adventure. You've got an idea, you go with it. And if you keep going for it with dedication and a belief that you're going to succeed, none of this defeatism, this inner critic, which I just, if you have anxiety and depression, you have a pretty potent inner critic, but everyone does at the end of the day. It's just how much you let it tear you down. Because the other end of the scale, it's your confidence and how much that, that psychs you up and drives you to keep getting up and pushing forwards. I don't know. But yeah, cycling today, I wanted to get sunset photos and my bike lights arrived, so I thought, why not? So I went out about 20-30 minutes before sunset, and yeah, I managed to get a few snaps, and I keep forgetting that just before it fades over the horizon, it swells up in size. The sun just looks massive. And I got some awesome photos, but I forget the colours, they just keep going and evolving long after the sun has disappeared. And especially with how flat it is around here. And after I'd finished taking photos, because I kept moving up a bit, taking photos, cycling on a bit, taking photos, doing that for about 45 minutes or so. And then once I'd finished one bit, I looked around the other side, and I was trying to work out what this building was, because it was pretty big, and I thought it must have been a barn that I've gone past, or one of the houses, because there's big new houses all over the place around here. But it's still got a village feel, it still feels like you're in the middle of nowhere. Once you get to the edge of the village, it's just nothing but fields, and you can see distant settlements, but it's, it feels, well, it is countryside. But I couldn't work out what this building was. Anyway, I was packing up all my gear, and then I went to look at it again, and I was like, oh, damn, that's not a building. It was terracotta in colour, but that was the moon rising, and it was huge. So I got my camera out again, and it had the telephoto lens on, so I zoomed all the way in. And because there was trees right in the background, and a few power lines in front of the moon, and because I was zoomed in, I was actually seeing it rise in real time. You could actually see the movement of it, and I'm like, oh man, this is amazing. I love video games, and you see it a lot in video games because they can't, I don't know of many games which have a 24-hour in-game cycle. Some do, like survival games and stuff like that. Probably DayZ, I imagine. But yeah, just seeing it moving. And yeah, for some reason I decided not to take the tripod with me because it fits on the back of the rucksack. But I just decided not to, and I'm gutted that I did, because when you got the telephoto lens zoomed all the way in and the light is fading, you need to have slightly longer shutter speeds, and my hands have always been shaky, ridiculously so. When I'm trying to concentrate on keeping steady, it's just a mess. But I can't go cycling for a 6th day. My knee and my lower back, it's all right at the moment. It feels a little bit sore, but it's not throbbing or anything. I haven't done myself a mischief. Not yet, anyway, not yet. But yeah, that was just stunning. Seeing a sunset and then turning around and seeing a moon rise. And as I carried on cycling and it was getting darker, like you just had to the left of me, it was the sunset, and you just have the beautiful reds and golds fading into blue. And then on the opposite side, there was a moonrise, and literally it was so bright. And I'm guessing there was a slight mist on the horizon because it literally had this cone underneath it where it was just shining, almost like a lampshade. It looked amazing. It really did. And it was cool just doing a nighttime cycle because, you had the occasional cars passing you, but then it just felt completely silent, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. And yeah, I can't wait for the clocks to change because I've just been naturally gravitating towards being more of a morning person now, especially since I quit drinking alcohol. But that's one of the big things, like apart from days when I've got schedule, appointments or meetings or have to get somewhere by a certain time, I'm just going to be waking up naturally. And after I stopped drinking, I was getting into the regular 8 hours, and then I started gravitating towards a regular sleep schedule, in bed somewhere between 9 and 10, maybe 11 at the latest. But no longer just going into the small hours every single day, And yeah, I mean, if you can be a morning person and you can catch the sunrise and stay up late enough to see the sunset, I mean, yeah, it's just moving. I just watch it and I just feel really emotional, but also energized and energetic, and just listening to the birds in the distance, and yeah, it's it feels really good. And the more I cycle, the more I can do it regularly. I want to get some skinnier tyres for the bike because it's mainly road cycling, and thick, knobbly mountain bike tyres aren't great, But I want it as my mode of transport. A couple of Velcro straps or bungee cords along the top tube of the bike frame, and I can just have my fire staff just running, horizontally along that. It will obviously poke outside the front of the bike and out the back over the rear wheel, but so no risk of scuffing anything, or and I'll be able to take my staff with me, backpack with my art stuff in. Found out my MacBook Pro fits in that camera bag I've got, because it's like one of those big, it's all material, but it's got a kind of shell to it, and you zip it up from the inside, the inside being what's pressed up against your back when you're wearing it, and you open it up and it's all Velcro, and it's got multiple compartments. You can just unvelcro and change the pattern of it, but it can fit so many camera bodies and lenses and all sorts, but it just winds up so heavy, like just too much. And that's probably what got my back today, just having that weight on. And I'd also adjusted my saddle, and I did it kind of high up initially, like I had on my road bike, the racing style bikes. But yeah, that paired with the rucksack, and yeah, I was feeling a twinge in my back within minutes, so something was amiss there. But take a few days off, keep at it though. Again, just keeping a positive mind frame about it. Don't be like, oh no, I've done my back and I can't do it now until it gets better. Stop being such a fucking pansy. Just need to get on with it. Yeah, I'll take a couple of days rest, but don't need to convince myself, oh, you've broken yourself. Stop being a little bitch. You'll get past it. Mind over matter at the end of the day. I lived in the shadow of stress-induced aches and pains for nearly 10 years, so, I'm glad that's improving since knowing I'm quitting the rat race. But yeah, sometimes it really is a case of you're making it worse, just constantly thinking about it, worrying about it, thinking, well, it's shit now, so it's always going to be shit, or if it's going to get more shit. I mean, that just seems to be the general expectation in the UK. You ask someone how they're doing, not bad. Oh, yeah, okay. It's good to know that you're not bad. Are you good? No, I wouldn't go that far, mate. What are you chatting about? But yeah, it's all fun and games, you know. Getting out there though, in nature more is really helping. Staffing more, doing the cycling. The healthy eating is being replaced by comfort eating once again. It is what it is. I know eventually it will improve, but again, if I stress myself out thinking I have to eat healthy, a bit like people who worry and fret and that's what gets them going to the gym and exercising. It's like, dude, you're kind of negating all the positive effects of exercise if you're just fatiguing your mind and body with stress. Just, we need to try and loosen up with that. But I couldn't, you know, this job I was in, until December, I didn't see an end in sight. I was planning to carry on staying in that job and buying my own flat and living in a place I didn't want to live. And yeah, I planned to pay off the mortgage early in 10 or 15 years. If I'd done another 10 or 15 years in the rat race, I genuinely think what happened to my dad would have happened to me. I would have ended up having a heart attack. Just something would have just snapped, you know. It's exhausting, man. So exhausting. 18 years in the rat race. I just, you know, I'm lucky. But then again, I'm sure every single person that I work with there and who I have worked with in the past, like, if we, you know, you do some soul searching and you just think about what you're passionate about, what you love doing, like you just don't begrudge doing something that just absorbs you, and just see, research, ponder, how can I make this viable? I mean, I'm lucky, you know, not to say it hasn't been difficult, you know, because it has. And in perspective, you can say I've got it easier than a lot of people, and yeah, at the end of the day, you can't really compare two people's lives. It's just so unique and independent. Just every single moment is, to be honest, if you just take in your surroundings and just think, yeah, you know, when you just kind of step out of the bubble of your inner monologue with all the worries and the fears and the judgments and this, that, and the other, just that stepping out of that narrative, the old mindfulness, you know, just looking around you and just being like, oh, damn. Because, yeah, sometimes we just get lost in our thoughts and you kind of just think, whoa, how the hell did I get here? But like Wikipedia, you open it up to look at one thing, before you know you got 15 tabs open, and it's just like, what happened here, you know? Such is life. But yeah, I'm doing well, actually. Keep feeling like I'm doing better, you know, and just a simple thing, like when I'm looking at myself in the mirror each day, I'm not looking as worried and as anxious and tired. I'm looking at myself and I'm seeing something hopeful, not something where I just like, I don't know, you know. I was abusing alcohol and I was just trying to mask it all. You look at yourself in the mirror and it's just that, you know, that old, who was it? Freud, wasn't it? If you stare into the abyss and the abyss stares back at you, it's just, yeah, it's pretty heavy going. But you get there. Like I say, you just have to believe you're going to get there. Like I am with my art, I'm scared, but I know that I can make it. You know, the stereotype is difficult to make a living as an artist. I just think it could be difficult to make a living of anything. It was really difficult making a living in these office jobs. Because, you know, it's not for me, and the stress built up and up and up, and disassociating with video games and drugs, you know. I've been playing video games for years before, but it all ramped up, just skyrocketed when I started in the office jobs, and within a few months of starting to smoke weed, and then, you know, trying other stuff in my early 20s, and then alcohol. It just needed something to level me out, but now I just, it's relief. It really is. I am moving in the right direction, and it's been a long time coming, but it's just the beginning now, you know. 35, you know, people retire, 70? late 60s, I would happily do 35 years of just living from what I create. I mean, that is just, it doesn't have to be the struggling, struggling to pay the bills, struggling for this, that, and the other. None of my jobs were that well paid. 22 is the highest any of my wages ever went, and for the amount of work you had to do, yeah. But most people feel underpaid. It is what it is. But I feel like I could make a good living off of this. And the thing is, if you believe that and you really push and you push and you push, go beyond yourself. Like I said, I know this is going to take me out of my comfort zone initially. All the traveling all over the place, being in really crowded places, art and craft fairs and Christmas fairs and things and exhibitions. The first exhibition I had, I remember going there and just white knuckle riding a panic attack for hours and hours. But all of that, it helps desensitize you eventually if you genuinely have the belief this is temporary, this anxiety, this worry, this dread, because sometimes you let the anxiety build and maybe you freak out at like a shoe shop and then you just never want to go shoe shopping again. And I know that might sound kind of too basic, but it can get to a point where you just associate random things with, oh no, this could make me have a panic attack. Whereas my first and second panic attack was in my bedroom, safest place in the world, surely. But stress builds. Stress built for a long time. I wasn't happy in any of my relationships, not truly. And I was never happy in myself, so why would I be happy in a relationship? It's just going to add more stress if you're not sure of yourself and where you're going. And that's the thing. This is what's so beautiful now, is that I'm single, and I just think this is fine. I'm happy with this, because I went through years of just back-to-back relationships because it's like, I don't want to be single. And it's like, well, that's because you're not happy. If you're not happy being single, that is a red light. That is, you need to work on yourself, and there's no shame in that. There is no shame in it. They're a constant project, I suppose. There's always things to learn and grow and develop. It's just we can get caught up in routines and they feel comfortable and they feel safe, even if they're not good for us. We just get wrapped up in it and we're like, yeah, this will do. This is fine, Don't want to cause no trouble. Sometimes we just have to shake it up, just knock it off the counter and be like, oh, let's pick it up again, dust it off, see what else we can try, because sometimes getting caught up in those bubbles is not a good place to be. It wasn't with my mental health, and like I said, being my own boss is really going to push me, but I know I'm ready for it now. I actually feel ready. And like I said, scared of the unknown, but no, I truly believe, I truly do. This is going to be something good. This is going to be as fruitful as I allow it to be, with my beliefs, with my passion, with the time and energy invested in it, Saying it's the same as any other business, and that's what's frustrating when people say it's a struggle. Well, no, just use that creativity in other areas as well, like being the salesman, marketing, promoting, networking. Just use that creativity, not in just taking a photo or drawing or painting, but use it just in your thinking and your approach, problem solving, finding solutions, not problems. It's what my therapist said a couple of weeks ago, and it's very true. It's very true. But I actually think I will upload this one because it has been a while, and I don't know if anyone finds it of interest, but you know what? It's fine. I find it therapeutic just to hit record and just say what's on my mind, and like I said, everything's moving towards where I want it to be, where I want to go in life. And that's a good thing, you know. It's never too late to feel like you're flourishing. It really isn't. So yeah, if you feel like you're stuck in a rut, if you just, one day kind of merges into the next, just take a step back and listen to yourself. Just, what do I want? What do I deserve? And then build on that. Think up a plan and just listen to yourself, because we have all the answers we need. We might read, we might research, watch TV programs, hoping that someone might be able to tell us something that feels profound or changes our perspective, but it's all inside. Listen to your gut, listen to your intuition, just listen to your inner wisdom, because we all have it. Just take some time out away from all the screens and distractions, and just do what I did earlier. Watch the sunset or watch the sunrise. Just get outside, away from everything, away from everyone, and just be with your thoughts, and just do that. It's wonderful. I'm doing it all the time, and it's just what the mind needs and the body needs, I think. Although my body does not need any more cycling for a day or two, but aside from that, we're all good. All good in the hood. So I hope everyone has a lovely weekend. I'm going to listen to some music and eat much chocolate. Happy times. Happy times.